The Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of Germany's most baffling and gruesome cold cases. On a remote farmstead north of Munich in 1922, an entire household was slaughtered with a pickaxe. What makes this case truly haunting isn't just the violence, but the eerie events leading up to the night of the murders. The setting: a lonely farmstead. Hinterkaifeck was a small farm inhabited by 6 people. Andreas Gruber, 63, and his wife Cecilia, 72. Their widowed daughter, Victoria Gabriel, 35. Victoria's children, Cecilia, 7, and Joseph, 2. The new maid, Maria Baumgartner, 44, who had arrived just hours before the killings. The prelude: the house is haunted. 6 months before the murders, the previous maid quit, claiming the house was haunted. Andreas Gruber, known for being a cold and disliked man, eventually began noticing strange things himself. Footprints in the snow, leading from the woods to the farm, but none leading back out. Noises in the attic, scratching sounds and footsteps coming from above. Missing keys. The family's house keys vanished shortly before the attack. A strange newspaper. Andreas found an unfamiliar newspaper on the property that no one in the family had purchased. The night of March 31, 1922. It is believed that the killers lured the family members into the barn one by one. 1. The barn executions. Andreas, the elder Cecilia, Victoria, and young Cecilia were all killed in the barn. Their bodies were stacked on top of one another and covered with straw and a door. 2. The house murders. The killer then entered the house to kill Maria Baumgartner in her bed and 2-year-old Joseph in his crib. The most chilling detail: autopsies later suggested that 7-year-old Cecilia survived for several hours after the attack, as she was found to have torn out tufts of her own hair while lying in the straw. The discovery: the bodies weren't found for 4 days. During that time, neighbors saw smoke rising from the chimney, and the cattle were fed. The killer had essentially moved in and lived among the corpses. It wasn't until young Cecilia missed school and the family failed to show up for church that a search party was formed. The investigation and theories: the police initially suspected robbery, but they found large sums of money and jewelry untouched. Over 100 suspects were questioned, but no one was ever charged. Karl Gabriel, Victoria's husband, reported killed in World War I. Some believed he didn't actually die and returned to seek revenge, though fellow soldiers swore they saw him fall in battle. Lorenz Schlittenbauer, a local man who had a brief relationship with Victoria. He was the leader of the search party and reportedly handled the bodies before police arrived, which some saw as an attempt to disturb evidence. The phantom theory. Due to the strange footprints and the killer living in the house afterward, many believe a vagrant or a local resident obsessed with the family had been living in the attic for days before striking. The Hinterkaifeck farm was demolished in 1923, and a memorial now stands in its place. To this day, the identity of the person with the pickaxe remains a mystery.